Hi there folks, and welcome back to another episode of Solar City Garage. Before we get started today, I'd like to thank everybody that has been continually subscribing. Every time I get a subscriber, it makes me feel a little better about all the work that goes into doing this. So if you're a new viewer, welcome. If you have viewed before and waiting to see the progress, welcome back. All right, today let's talk about oil pans. Another can be problem area on a Model T is an oil pan. What we have here is a 4-dip pan for our 26 engine, and we've just cleaned off the dirt and the grease, okay, just to kind of get an overall view before we put a lot of effort into this. There's some things we need to check. Like in the end here, where the two last hogshead bolts go, there's threads in there. You want to run a tap in there and be sure they're okay. There's threads in the end here where the ball cap goes. You want to be sure they're okay. You want to kind of look it all over for just general straightness and cracks and damage. Up here, you probably can't see because of the hogshead, is the socket where the wishbone goes. There's always going to be some wear there. You just got to be sure that it's decent. I believe that's a 1-inch ball. So if it looks nice and concentric and round, you're probably going to be okay. The other thing you want to look at is the drain plug threads. There is a repair to put in here, but it's nice if they're in good shape. And just kind of give it an overall look. We're going to flip it over here. Maybe you can see better like that. All right, down inside here, there's this little tin baffle. And there's a pocket down in there. When we cleaned this pan out, that was plugged tight with sludge. So we cleaned and used compressed air. I didn't want to remove it because it was still in there pretty securely. But we were sure nothing came out of there. And then the other place you want to take a look is this front block that goes across and holds the front crank seal. You want to be sure that it's nice and in place and still sealed in there. And you can kind of get a good look at that by looking at the front. We're lucky this one still has some paint. It looks very nice, no cracks here where it's welded in. On the edges, the rivets look good. So I think we have a really good workable 4-dip pan here. On the 26.7 and the late 25 engines, the big benefit is the hogshead fastens to the back of the motor. So that kept these pans from getting bent as easy as a 3-dip pan. But you never know. This one looks really good. It could be straight as an arrow. It could be as crooked as a snow ski. So we will take this pan. We've cleaned off the gasket surfaces too. And I think we're just going to stick 4 bolts in it and put an alignment tool on the transmission and just see how close we are before we go forward. All right, I'll meet you back at the motor. Okay folks, we're back here at the motor on the stand, and after checking over the oil pan and giving it the first cleaning to get rid of all the oil and the gasket material and stuff like that, the outside still needs some cosmetic work. And we've also cleaned out all the threaded holes like we talked about earlier. So I don't have a pan straightening jig. I would love to have one, but number one, it's a little out of my budget, and two, they're kind of unobtainium. So we're going to go with what's important. The straightening of the pan, after all, the whole goal of that is to get so that the 4th main lines up with the end of the pan here, basically in what I'd like to call a neutral position. So there's no bind on it. Not every Model T pan is crooked. I mean, guys that own a jig will tell you, yes, everyone is crooked, and I'm sure every one of them someplace is tweaked a little. But the whole thing we're after is to get it so the 4th main fits well. And if it does that, you're still going to be okay. So if somebody wants to send me one, I'll use it every day. I'll do everybody's pans, whatever, but I don't think that's going to happen. So The next best thing is this tool here, which I got from our friends at Lang's. It's a reproduction of the KRW Crankcase locator. So we put this pan up here with 4 bolts, 2 towards the back, 2 towards the front. There's no gasket in here. To be 100%, you could put the gasket in dry and lightly tighten it down. Sometimes you can damage the gasket doing that. I mean, it wouldn't be a bad idea to have a spare. But you can also take into consideration that if it's close and if it's just a little tight all the way around, the gasket is going to make up the difference. So let's slide this tool on and see how our luck is today. So we'll slide this tool down in, and that's probably the reason why I didn't win the big Powerball, because we just used up our luck today. This tool goes down in with very little resistance. In fact, it's a little tighter down towards the bottom of the pan, and it's even on both sides. In consideration, if the gasket was in there, it's going to be just about right. So we'll keep rechecking this as we install the pan for the final time. But we need to clean this and paint it and just give it a little tender loving care. Then we'll put it on, but that's a very fortunate way to be. As you can see, it doesn't take any force. So things are kind of going our way right now. So like I say, it's a little tight here at the bottom, but the gasket thickness will make up that difference. So what do you know? Finally a win. All right, we'll see you when this thing is all cleaned up. Hi folks, and welcome back to Solar City Garage. Well, we've been busy. So we got the pan off the engine, and it was time to get it cleaned up. So I did the real nasty mess of sandblasting the pan. I took off the 4-dip cover, cleaned up the gasket surfaces there, blasted the pan. You gotta be kind of careful when you blast the pan that you don't remove all the brazing, because that is sealing the brackets and the drain plug and the end to the pan. So just be careful. But that turned out pretty good. There's the cover, there's the pan supports, and the pan fasteners and the bottom cover fasteners. I'll tell you what takes the longest is cleaning up the fasteners. And I ran a thread chaser over the threads, sandblasted them in the bead blast cabinet, and all that good stuff. So then we go down here. I like to paint the bolts kind of a satin black, and then I like to use duplicolor engine enamel, which is a gloss on the pan and the bottom. So, all right, here we go. Next time we see you, it'll be just like magic. They'll be all black and shiny. All right, stay tuned. Bye. And just like that, folks, there you have it. Like the magic of television. There's that nice shiny pan and the plate and all the hardware. All that hard work of cleaning up and re-threading and all that good stuff, degreasing. So there, we'll let that dry, at least overnight. Then we'll carefully put it away and keep moving forward. All right, thanks for watching.